Oh, YTPC. Saturday morning. Nice and relaxed. I'm in the trucking Piper Bob chair. Early up this morning, 4:20. Splitting headache, but that soon passed. So, 98% there now. Nice. Had a few coffees. And then I went and picked my pal up. We've had a drive up to the shoot this morning. But the weather's that bad with the rain. Some birds are getting released tomorrow, not today. We're not putting them out in the wet. So it's nice to get up there. We just bagged up a load of corn and wheat, and then we went and moved a couple of partridge pens on some fresh grass. So I've got some English partridge in the pens there, which is nice. I just thought, I'm back. I had a nice cup of coffee in me Tigger mug. Tiggers are wonderful things. And I've got my Hardcastle Dublin, I think it is. Dublin, lovely pipe. I've got some Robert McConnell Latakia Flake. So nice relaxing morning. And because I've been up to the shoot today, I thought hopefully I can put a video together about one of my dogs. So I've always grown up with dogs. Mum and Dad had dogs, and their mum and dads had dogs before them, and corgis, and Mum and Dad have got Boston Terriers. And Dad grew up with Dachshunds. And then my first dogs, I had a couple of German Shepherds, which were lovely. I had a dog and a bitch. They were both fantastic dogs. Claire grew up with German Shepherds at the pub. And then when I got into shooting, I always wanted to shoot, but shooting's an expensive sport and time consuming, and it's one of those hobbies or pastimes or lifestyles you can call it, that takes quite a bit of getting into and takes some time. I reached a certain point in life where potentially you've got that little bit of spare cash, haven't you? Well, not really, but you know what I'm saying. And I went clay shooting first, really enjoyed it, and I had a few friends at work who were into clay shooting, and one of them was really big into game shooting. And I tried it, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. So, I've been clay shooting, and where we lived, lots of game shoots, but it is one of those difficult worlds to get into. If you don't know someone, you won't get into it. Well, that's what I thought all those years ago, and well, it is like that. But then one day, we'd been clay shooting, and we were just coming near the house where we used to live, and there was a guy just locking up one of the farm gates, and I knew there was a shoot down there. And I thought, bugger it, I'm going to stop and ask. You don't get anywhere in life if you don't ask, do you? It's not going to come to you. So, pulled up the car, just went and had a chat with him, and interested in about getting on a syndicate shoot. But he said he'd just left the shoot. So he gave me the number. That was a shoot there, but there was no spaces. But he gave me the number of the gamekeeper of the other shoot. So I gave him a ring. And he asked us to come down. Bit of an interview, really. Are you good shots? Are you safe shots? And who do you know? And got chatting, and obviously he liked us. So we got on that shoot, cracking little shoot, working man shoot, all driven. So you had your beaters pushing the birds towards you, but right, nice, good shooting, good birds. And I met some lovely people on that. But at this point, I've not got a gun dog. Obviously, the people on the shoot got gun dogs. Some have got Labradors, some have got Springers, some have got Cockers. And the guy that I really bonded with on the shoot, he had a Springer, black and white one, looked beautiful. So it came to that point where, because we were going beating as well, but obviously didn't have a dog. People could still go beating without dogs. But it came to a point where I really want my own dog. And you go through that thing, do I want a Labrador, do I want a Springer, what do I want it for? But because I go beating, and the Springer's it's a bit of a cracking all-round dog. It'll drive into cover, it'll retrieve well, it'll pick up, it'll sit, kind of. So the gentleman that I knew with this beautiful black and white one, he said the guy he bought it off is having another litter. As the guy was involved on one of the local estates, he worked for the Lord. So the dog's no papers, no pedigree, but really good working stock. I can't remember whether he was like head beater or one of the gamekeepers. But anyway, he had this litter of pups. So off I went to have a look. Really good sized Springers, not these small ones that they've bred down for field trials. The mum and dad were amazing. He had about 6 or 7 out the back, adults, what he used for picking up and beating. And there was a litter of 7. They were keeping one, so they had picket litter. And I had second pick, and I wanted a dog. There were 4 dogs. And they always say, don't they, that it's the dog that chooses you, not you that chooses the dog. Now that happened with my first German Shepherd. I got him from a home, and I was walking up and down. He was a rescue dog. I was walking up and down the pens, and he was just sat looking at me, and that was an instant connection with him. But this little pup, and they're all obviously running around, scurrying about, aren't they? This little pup kept coming up to me. So I chose him, and I called him Flint. Now, the reason I called him Flint was I had a dream one night, and I had this dog, and I can't remember what type of dog it was, but it was called Flint. And I woke up from this dream and thought, that's a cracking name for a dog, that. One day I'll call dog Flint. So when I saw this little one, I called him Flint, and he was a beautiful liver and white spaniel. And I'll show you a picture of him now. Well, so I got this amazing spaniel, the first one. 18 months, 2 years to train him, and he had the most lovely temperament. Very independent, loved a cuddle when he wanted one. Very independent dog. And he was amazing at his nose. Was fantastic. If you'd shot a bird or a rabbit or anything, he would find it. I've never known a dog with as good a nose as he had. And we were even asked on shoots, Bob, can you get your dog in here to find this bird? And he would find it. And we had many adventures together. We used to go picking up on quite a posh shoot near York. And they used to shoot what was called the swillers. So it'd come down and there was all willows in the back and marshland, and it was thick, you couldn't get in. But the pheasants would be coming in, and the guns would be shooting the pheasants, and the pheasants would be dropping into the swillers. And then we'd pick up after the drive's over and the guns are moving on to the next one. And you'd stand there, and all you would do with that dog is send him in, and he'd come back with a bird. Send him in, he'd come back with a bird. He'd send him in, he'd come back with a bird. And when the last time when he didn't come back with a bird, you knew he'd got them all. Awesome nose. And they've all got their own special abilities, I think. You'll never get the perfect dog, but his nose was the one. February time, we always go roost shooting for pigeon. It's the end of the shooting season, and he was amazing. So I could. So roost shooting is the Saturday in each Saturday in February, and you go to a wood and you wait till the wood pigeons are coming in and an evening, and you have your shoot. I wouldn't even have to look up, because it's a while till they start coming in. I wouldn't have to look up. I'd wait till he did. So he'd be sat, and then as soon as he went, boom, you knew a pigeon was coming, bang. It was fantastic. And then on the marsh with wildfowling, exactly the same. And he was a big spaniel. He could pick a goose, no problem. Loved water. If you went for a walk down the river, he'd swim the river. He wouldn't walk it. He'd always be hunting the river, trying to find ducks. And amazing dog. And there was one time, and now this is the most special memory, this one is. So the boy, Jono, 9 years old. And he had his gun. He bought him a 410. Then he had coaching lessons from a friend of mine who used to shoot for Team England. So he was quite an excellent shot, and is, the boy. And I asked the keeper on the shoot, so do you mind if Jono takes my peg today? And he was like, no, I know him well. You stay with him, everything's safe. And the drive started, we used to call it the railway. And the beaters had walked this old railway line, totally covered in trees, and they'd bring the pheasants down, and you stand in a horseshoe shape around it. So I'm stood there with my son, and some birds had come and they had a few shots, and this beautiful big cock pheasant rose off the top, and Jono was absolutely cool, calm, collected. Little over and under 410. Pulled his gun up. The pheasant came. Nice driven, high pheasant. Pulled the trigger, carried on swinging, and the pheasant dropped. An amazing moment. So it was Jonathan's first bird. The beaters on the top, who all knew Jono as well, stood, cheered and applauded. And this man sat in front of you now burst into tears of happiness. He got the biggest hug. I was so proud. And that was Jono's first, not his first introduction to shooting, because he'd always been with me from. And then the best thing was, after that, he sent Flint to go and pick his bird. And Flint fetched it back to him, passed it to him, and Jono got his first pheasant. A magical moment. And I'll show you a picture of that now. So that was one of Dad's proudest moments. And he was a beautiful dog. He was so soft-mouthed as well. Never bit down on anything. And there was even an occasion when we were out in the fields one day and he comes tottering up to me, sat there and went to pass me something. I'm like, what you got, lad? So I put my hand out, and into my hand he popped a baby partridge. Probably no bigger than that. Baby partridge still alive, because he never bit down. He'd obviously found it in the hedge bottom, picked it up. I'll take that back to my dad. And they're an amazing creature, a companion. When you sat in the woods at night on your own, there's nothing better, or sat on the marsh. You've got your best pal here. And it's magical. And we had 14 years together. And in his later life, so obviously he couldn't do a full day, but he still loved it. So I'd take him for half a day or a couple of drives. Up until his last year, we were pigeon shooting, because it's just going to the wood and sitting about doing not a lot. He loved it. And the strange thing was, when I actually did lose him, I lost him to the weekend that I got him. So he was 14 years old in 8 weeks. And I got him at 8 weeks. Nah. It's all about Flint. Just stuck it out. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Today just felt the day to talk about Flint. So have a great weekend, guys. I'm gonna enjoy this. Puts my nerve that. Enjoy your smokes. Look after your family. I'll see you soon.